by adopting the following resolution. Now therefore be resolved that the Prince County School Board here certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only.
We're now to the debatable part, and which not a whole lot of debate for me since this is my motion. I've obviously gotten to know Ms. Jessie over the last 2 years, a little bit in 2015. I think the. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Anyone else? Sorry, who was that? Oh, sorry, Mr.
I think that this one's a particularly odd one because it's the only time I'm aware of where we had 4 years in a row where we're addressing essentially boundaries related to the same school. So the parents there at Wilson are like, let's just leave us alone. But for boundaries, it determines where your kid goes to school. And of course, there's a few things as important as that. So it gets very personal for parents, or is very important for them.
What outcome do you hope from the board tonight? Do you guys expect to take it?
We're going to do a vote at the next meeting. My goal tonight is to lay out the data and explain that we set boundaries for Wilson 2 years ago, knowing it was going to fill up over time. So we should let it fill up over time and not add more people. Add more people is going to send it well over capacity and we'll end up overcrowding it and creating a problem we were trying to avoid before.
This school is in your district, the Coles
Correct,
district.
yes.
Okay. And how long have you represented the Coles district?
Since 2015.
Okay. And do you know how many students that this proposed boundary change would affect?
There's talk of moving between about 120 and 150 students. Now it ends up impacting students in all three of those schools, which probably average between 700 and 900 students per school.
And have you heard much from parents in terms of their thoughts, their comments, maybe outrage of this even being talked about?
Sure. I mean, I think part of the concern with this is normally we have a boundary committee process. For some reason, we're skipping the boundary committee process. So the normal channels for parent input aren't being utilized, and so it's flying a bit under the radar. We've only had one public hearing, and it was when we were getting really close to Christmas break. And it was a packed room, but there was a lot of questions about what are we talking about, what are the details. So the parents that have been at Wilson and have been involved in this for the last 4 years are, I had one mom, a year ago, was like, I enjoy hanging out with you and talking about stuff, but why are we talking about this again? And today, and this year we got back together and it was, happy anniversary. Can we be done with this? So I think the parents are we build a school, let's leave it alone.
Personally, the timeline I think is really quick, in my opinion, especially if this is going to go into place next year anyways. I personally would like to have a little bit more time to talk with Montclair and that community and that principal and stuff like that, and maybe look at making the vote in the February board meeting.
Okay, it's going to be overcrowded, but we have to kind of share that around the community. We have to share until we can fix it, until we can snap our fingers and get rid of all overcrowding and get a teacher in every classroom and get it down to recommended numbers and get rid of our class sizes. We have to share it. We have to share in the pain, so to speak, for lack of a better word.
This is a proposal, speaking from someone who's actually on the joint board committee to get rid of trailers, that does just that for all three of these schools. I mean, I'm sorry, for Neabsco, correct, that had to get trailers after we just added an addition. So to me, it's ridiculous that we would even entertain when we have an opportunity to not only get rid of trailers, but provide a better quality of education for all students involved, that we would not think that this is a good idea to go on.
When we talk about trailers, they say, oh, trailers, I have kids in trailers. We're really talking about overcrowding. The only reason you have trailers is that you have overcrowding. And in this wealthy district, here's another trailer court, which it looks like to me, with an outside facility for kids. You got a bathroom outside. It's an elementary school. We have an infrastructure committee who's concerned about safety. They're concerned about locks. And yet we've got 12 trailers with kids outside with absolutely no safety precautions. And people, we don't live in the same world we used to live in. We just don't. And anything I think we can do to get these babies inside, we need to do.
This here, but it's scratching the inside of my brain stem up here, so I don't know whoever can handle the sound. It's getting me a little bit, not like a life-threatening emergency, but it's certainly there. So I